Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I stand to present a public petition by the residents of Galole constituency for the degazzetment of legal notice number 29 of 2013 on the declaration of Wayu as a forest area. Forest Act number 7 of 2005. I, the undersigned, on behalf of the residents of Galole constituency in Tana River County, draw the attention of the House to the following. Number one, that aware that legal notice number 29 of 2013 carved out more than 42,512 hectares of land to create Wayu Forest Reserve. Two, noting that Galole is largely a pastoralist region and that majority of the residents have no other income generating activities. Three, that the gazettement of the forest areas was done without the local community participation. Number four, that the area declared as a forest area encloses local villages, including Wayuduka, Wayuboro, Daba, Titila, Ongola, Waldena, Bultomulitu, Doke, Konekaliti, Didade, Koticha, Motiboka, and Aboye. Thereby infringing on movement of the residents. Madam Speaker, that efforts to have the matter addressed have borne no fruit, yet competition for the limited farming and grazing resources continue to heighten tension among families. That the matter, in respect of which this petition is made, is not pending before any court of law or tribunal. Therefore, your humble petitioners pray that the National Assembly, through the Departmental Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, one, they intervenes to have Wayu Forest degazetted and the land reverted to the community. And two, the Cabinet Secretary be barred from further gazetting any forest area in Galole constituency without due participation of the public as required by the Constitution. And your petitioners will ever pray. I submit, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. What's your point of order, Majority Leader?
Madam Speaker, I'll ask you to give us a few minutes to contribute. This is a very sensitive petition because Honorable Dukicha is my neighbor, and the only economic activity of the people we represent are the camels, the cows, and the goats. And forests are rarely found in that region. But somebody somewhere in government, without the public participation as demanded by the Constitution of Kenya 2010, decided to carve Wayu as a forest. Madam Speaker, we want the committee to go to the ground, if possible, through the facilitation of Parliament, and see between the livestock, the numbers of the livestock we have in that county and that region, vis-a-vis what you will expect in a forest. This is how we got serious matters into the Mpeketoni and other areas. When you start carving particular ecosystem meant for animals, for pastoralism. So unless somebody wants to kill pastoralists...
Order, members. The members at the back, can you please settle down?
Unless somebody wants to tell us that this will be the end of pastoralism in Kenya and in the region, then we wonder why you create a forest in an area inhabited for livestock. So we want the committee to take it very seriously, Madam Speaker, and I want your direction that that committee is facilitated. They go to Wayu, they talk to the people of Wayu and Galole constituency, and Bura and Garsen, and even come to Garissa town and listen and go to Ijara and collect information, and that committee ultimately must reach a decision to revoke that Gazette notice and give back the people of Wayu their land so that they can rear more cattle and more goats and more camels. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Cyprian Iringo. Where is Iringo? He's not there. Abdul Kadir?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to contribute to this, to put my word into this. Madam Speaker, indeed the petition brought by Honorable Hassan Dukicha with regards to the petition or with regards to the degazzetment of the Wayu forest is one which touches on the lives and the livelihoods of the very many pastoralist communities that live in this particular area. Madam Speaker, as the leader of majority said earlier, that as the pastoralist community, we depend on this vast land for our animals to graze. Unfortunately, there is a growing trend of people who do not understand or either do not value the livelihood of the pastoralist community to tend to want to, without consulting the communities, to put or gazette areas as either reserves or conservancies. Madam Speaker, in addition to the one brought by Mheshimiwa Dukicha, I must say that attempts by county governments, particularly the Garissa County, to try and also create a conservancy just outside of Garissa town is one which is not acceptable, which will kill the pastoral economy of the people living in these areas, and which must not be accepted. Madam Speaker, I urge the committee to get to the bottom of this, and not too long from now, we also from Garissa will bring petitions to remove the Rahole National Reserve and also to stop the so-called county governments which blindly appear to want to do a similar gazettement at Bulargi. It is not acceptable, it is not well intended, and one which is aimed at killing the pastoral economy. I thank you for the time, Madam Speaker.
Ali Rosa. Rasso.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the petition brought by Honorable Dukicha is very important and also is key to adjudication and settling the matters of arid and semi-arid lands. Madam Speaker, the only remaining land in Kenya that is considered to be free and open for settlement and development today actually is in those regions that the government or agencies are trying to put aside for forest land or for other developmental issues without consulting the local population. Madam Speaker, what I wish to ask the committee is to also look at many other areas, because Saku constituency, actually 70% of Saku is considered to be a forest gazetted area, and yet the population live in there. So to access title deed, to access even grazing areas and water point is actually getting difficult day by day. For that reason, I think I support this petition. It is very important, and it is likely to settle some of the many issues that have been out there for quite some time. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Kamama.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand to support this petition because I'm very much familiar with this area. I've worked in this area, and I know along the Tana River riverine, that is where we have, a semblance of some forest. But when you want to set aside places like Wayu, Waldena, Bahomo, those sides, you want to create some forest, I think we are going to be unfair to the pastoral people of Tana River, and specifically Galole. And so I want to say that the committee, Madam Speaker, should be facilitated so that they can actually go to this area and establish their priorities in this area. The priority is pastoralism, is cattle keeping, and not forest, not even a conservancy. So, Madam Speaker, I support, and even what was raised by the member from Balambala. I've also worked there, Rahole and even Boralgi. I think let these people, let's not endanger the lives of pastoralists. Let's give pastoralism a first priority, because that area is occupied by those people. So I support this in totality, that let's get away with the forest and let us keep cows in this area. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
The County MP, Tana River.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm happy to be given this chance. Madam Speaker, Tana River is a pastoral area whereby we have animals and we don't have enough farms. And it is important that the forest area involve the local community and discuss together, and they are shown where we need a forest. Not in Wayu, not in Bura, where they have identified, or Garsen. If they sit with the local community, I'm very sure they will be shown, or they will discuss and see the areas favorable for forest, not the areas the area MP has mentioned. Wayu is a pastoral area, it's a grazing land, and we would not like to have a forest there. And if it is a must that Tana River must be introduced forest, then it is important the forest and the people to sit together to identify a place where we can put our forest. Not people coming imposing a government policy on Wananchi which has not been passed by any member of the community. Madam Speaker, we are not refusing the forest. It's important to have forest, but not in those mentioned areas. The areas in particular, we are not accepting forest. It is a grazing area. Let the forest people...
Order, members. The consultations are going high.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for rescuing me.
Okay, the Honorable Majority Whip.
Yeah, so once...
member, I thought you have finished. I thought you were saying thank you, you have completed your...
I am just concluding, Madam Speaker.
I rescued you from the noise. Okay, finish.
Thank you.
Remember, members, there's going to be the petition, there's going to be inquiry done, so feel represented. The rest of you have not spoken, but the last chance will go to the Majority Whip.
Madam Speaker, it is important for the Environment Committee to visit Galole, Garsen, and Bura to come out with a conclusion, to come out with a motion, so that the members of this House can discuss that one. Otherwise, forest people are trying to pump into the people on clashes, and we are not accepting them. We want the area to be degazzetted so that the Wananchi can graze their animal in comfort. Thank you very much.
The Majority Whip. Yes, Majority Whip.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also want to support this petition by Honorable Lukicha and say that the relevant committee, that is the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, need to invite the ministry, because the ministry is going around the country gazetting some areas as forest, gazetting others as wetland areas, and I think it is irresponsible if they do gazette without really consulting the communities on the ground, because some of these areas have for a very long time stood as the livelihood for those communities. So my only concern, Madam Speaker, there is a
Kamukunji at the back there. Honorable members.
Hopefully they are not talking about
Honorable
Kapedo.
members at the back, is that Ngeno and company? Please find another place to hold your meetings.
So thank you. So, Madam Speaker, what I was saying is that the key word here is for the ministry to do a very consultative process before any step is taken in gazetting any part as a forest or as a wetland area, because what we will even ask the ministry to do is, first of all, to protect the areas that are already gazetted as forests or as wetlands, because we haven't seen them really doing much on the preservation of the water towers in this country. So if they continue going to other areas, even before securing the already gazetted areas, is adding actually insult to injury. So my plea is for the committee of this House, the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, really to summon the ministry officials and tell them to take that gazettement of forest or wetland through a very consultative process that can have ownership on the ground from the people living there. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, sorry. Let me also say that this petition is one that belongs in this House rightly. But, Mr. Speaker, let me thank the member for trying to do what the government should be doing on its own. Madam Speaker, the issue of pastoralism is an issue generally of agriculture. Madam Speaker, where are our competitive advantages as a country? It is important to note that countries like Botswana, Madam Speaker, are prospering in meat export.